A week from this episode, it'll be my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Oh, shit. Welcome to the Two Better Halves podcast, where we take one topic that usually is important, makes a difference in marriage, life in general, happening in the world, and we split it into two equal 15 or 20-minute halves, one led by the husband, which is me, one led by the wife, which is Sarah.
That's me.
And during our time, we can talk about whatever we want, force the other person to talk about whatever we want, and it's really gotten us to talk about things we've never really talked about, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
When you're hearing this episode, it's a week for my birthday.
Happy birthday!
Your birthday was...
Just less than a week ago. It was one day
right,
less than a week ago.
Right, because it's Thanksgiving. Yeah, so when you're hearing this episode, 6 days ago was my wife's birthday. So, let's talk about birthdays.
Yes.
What is your most memorable, for either a really good or really bad reason, birthday you had before we were together and after we were together? So 2 answers.
Before we were together, for my 30th birthday, we went to New York City and saw the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and saw Equus on Broadway.
I didn't know that was for your birthday.
That it was for my birthday, and it was
good job,
very,
Spencer.
Very fun. Everything was themed around that. Like, my mom got me a thick winter coat that I could wear. Someone bought us the tickets for the show.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and we were outside in the morning for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. You have to get out there at like 6 a.m. It was super cold.
Is that the only show you saw?
No, we actually wound up winning tickets to... No, not winning, but like there's a TKTS, I think is what it's called, and you can go the day of to shows, and they'll sell any open seats that they have for a discounted price.
Yeah, to fill it up.
So we wound up in the lottery getting far enough ahead in the line to get tickets to Spring Awakening, so we also saw that.
And that's the one that you had the CD, and we listened to it a lot when we first got together. Because remember, Andy gave it to you, because he found out you liked it. He gave the Spring Awakening.
Yes.
I didn't like the music of it. The show might have been fine.
The show was good. It was very different. And the one thing I really liked about the show is something that's really quintessential about Broadway in general. Because I've seen, high school plays. I've seen college plays. I've seen plays at, like, our local theater, which is the Fox, if you're local to Atlanta, which they do, like, the touring Broadway shows. But seeing a show on Broadway,
more
the
like
caliber...
Scatlanta, am I right?
No.
That kind of scat. Not like poop.
Yeah, well...
What were you saying?
I was saying that the caliber of talent is just vastly different, and not that the people who are in those traveling shows are not talented, but I mean, it is the very best, the very most talented people that wind up getting cast on Broadway. And there was one girl in particular that was in that show that was just...
The Spring Awakening show?
Yes, she had that star quality, that mesmerizing, there would be big group numbers and everybody would be doing stuff, and there would be something about her that I couldn't stop watching her, because she just had that it factor.
I thought you saw Wicked.
We saw Wicked for, I think it was Spencer's birthday.
So that's just what you guys do for your birthdays? Wow, for my birthday, we don't go to no damn... When I turned 30, we didn't go anywhere.
I'm sorry.
Jeez.
When you turned 31, we went to Colorado.
When I turned 31?
Yeah.
That wasn't 31, was it?
Well, then it was 30, because it was only a year or two ago.
Because it wasn't this year we went to Colorado. Oh, when I turned 31, we didn't do nothing. All right. And most memorable... No, I don't even want you to answer it.
No.
Because it's not going to be anything cool like that.
It is cool.
Oh, what is it? He did something romantic, and we sat at home.
It was romantic.
And we sat at home?
You gave me a birthday for every one of my years that would have been appropriate to something that I would have liked that year. So, like, I got... something that was Care Bears, because when I was 6 or 7, that would have been what I liked. And for my 21st birthday, you got me a little thing of whiskey, and there was like different things that were themed to what I would have liked that year of my life.
Yes, I gave her a present for every birthday that we were not together. But where did we do that gift exchange at?
At our house.
At our freaking house. Didn't go to no damn Broadway.
We didn't. Why don't you take me anywhere for my birthday?
Because I don't have money.
Yes, you do.
I don't have money to go to freaking Broadway. Damn. I took you to the zoo.
You did. You did take me to the zoo, and it was delightful, and I had a really great time.
Man, we've got it right here of what perfect lead into our topic today, which is our greatest... This is called The Greatest Fights. So it can be like the joy of it being our 15 minutes. During my 15 minutes, I can talk about all kinds of personal fights that we have had, just us two. During her 15 minutes, she can talk about other fights that had nothing to do with us two.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa, yeah. I mean, I just know what I'm going to do.
Oh, okay.
But that is our topic for today. Who is going first in our 15 minutes each?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Why don't you go first? Because I went first last time, I think.
I don't remember. Okay, do you have the time?
I will in a second. Just give me a second, technology.
Oh my God, where's our? We have a timer right here. You mean
No,
use this one?
it's not that. It's that my phone locks, and then I have to go and find things that I had already set up. Okay, 15 minutes, right?
15 minutes. Man, I should have picked out a song. I didn't.
Well, you should have planned better.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you already started.
Oh no,
it.
I've started it now.
Jesus.
You haven't started talking.
Fucking fucko. So fights. Very broad questions. What do you think was our biggest fight ever?
The one that I remember lasting the longest and being the one I was most worried about was way at the beginning of our relationship, which I guess is probably why I was partially the most worried about it. And
Oh, here we go. Me. It's my fault.
I'm not saying it's your fault. You had asked me about who I had been with prior to us being together. And I had given you one answer. And the real answer was something different.
You lied.
Yes.
For some silly reason.
Yes.
Because you were embarrassed.
And I think it was like 3
Did that
4
fight
days.
last that long?
Yes. And you didn't talk to me. You were in a different room. It was very dramatic and lasted a very long time. And I went from somebody who, I've mentioned this on previous episodes, my ex-husband and I never fought. Not because we were so wonderful, but because we just didn't talk about things and it just wasn't. So I had never had a fight like that. That was so dramatic and lasted so long.
So it wasn't that dramatic. All right.
For me, in my experience,
yeah, I guess that's fair. For you and your experience, that was probably a bad fight. For me, that was like whatever.
It was really dramatic, and I was not prepared for that, and I really didn't know how you come back from that. But then
we came back from it perfectly
did.
fine. And the issue with that one was just because you lied in my face over and over about it. So, and yeah, it was at the beginning, and I'm sure I overreacted because that was probably the first time either of us lied to the other. At least it led to a fight.
Yes, at least it led to a fight. I would say.
But we had only been together for a little bit.
Yeah, it was not very long.
So yeah, I guess I can understand why that would have been one
that sticks out to me in particular.
That sticks out to you. All right, what are some others?
I mean, honestly,
They pop right in your head. Surely you can. Come on, we've had one fight, one really big fight.
No, we've had a lot, but honestly, the thing is that a lot of them at the moment it feels really important, and then in retrospect, it's not.
Well,
as
the
big
way
of a
I
deal.
have the question worded originally is, "What is our biggest one-time fight?" That would be a one-time fight,
Yes,
right? We never
yeah,
talked about it.
no.
We never had any other problems because you lied to me. I tried to think of your reasoning. You were. Should I use the word ashamed? What's the appropriate word of why you lied about this specific guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Got over it because God knows I've dangled people. I'm not proud of dangling. God does know personally. Okay, so what is our biggest fight that has recycled? Something maybe not that we fight about now, but that we have fought about a lot. That was something we had to work through during our marriage.
I would say the ways that we communicate with each other. I think a lot of our fights really escalate because our manner of fighting is so completely different that we both escalate each other. You're very logical and very almost legal and argument driven, and I'm very emotional and just sort of explain how I'm
That
feeling.
doesn't make sense because
But I
we
think it
only
escalates.
fight about the way we fight when we've already started fighting.
That's my point, though. I think the reason our fights escalate is because I'm coming from a very emotional spot and I'm crying and I'm raising my voice and you're being very
answer.
loud.
I need another answer.
Okay. I mean, I think that is a big issue.
That's a fine answer, and during your 15 minutes, you can talk all about that. But that doesn't, in my mind, that doesn't exist without something else existing. That is a way that the fight gets escalated, but that's not why a fight exists.
Parenting style. I think we fight a lot about that.
Okay, like what?
So
What about our parenting
think
style?
I'm a little too lax, and I think you're maybe a little too strict.
You have never said that I'm too strict. You have only ever defended yourself.
But again, by defending myself, I'm saying that I think my position is right.
That's true. Yeah, parenting style. And I think the main issue for me is that when we do fight about it, it usually ends with you saying you're going to be, uh-oh. That's bad.
Yeah, it's kept happening yesterday.
I think we're still recording, actually, because
really?
we don't need internet to be recording. Power just went out though, friends and family, but we should still be going.
Okay.
Do you want to go try to flip the power back on?
I will go try to flip the power back on.
Whew, jeez. Oh, careful. Oh gosh, she's tripping. Yeah, our power just shut off. We've got a lot of new appliances. Well, not a lot. We got a hot water heater. We got a new dishwasher. We've upgraded some of our air conditioning, and it has led to issues with our electrical panel. I think. Did you unplug yourself? Are you still on?
I think I'm still on.
I'm not getting you.
Oh, well then maybe I did unplug myself.
Check your microphone. Is
The
it
light's on.
the lights on?
Is it plugged in on your side?
Should be. Is it that one? Well, you bumped into it, so let's see if we can get it working. Because this is my 50 minutes.
Is it working?
Nope.
I don't know what's... the
All right.
light's on.
Will you pause the clock? Let me know when you pause it. Okay, back at it?
Yes.
All right. Well, that was a waste of my 50 minutes. Yeah, we fight about parenting style. I'll agree with that, though not so much anymore. I think it's sort of it's been some of our, because I definitely agree, some of our bigger fights, or most reoccurring fights, have come from that.
I think it's our biggest difference of philosophy.
That is extremely fair. I definitely think the kids are far more capable of doing things. And there are times where, like, Sarah will be upset with something with her ex-husband and his parenting style, and I'll agree with the ex-husband's perspective, and him and his husband and how they are doing things, and it'll really, really bother Sarah. And I guess since I'm the stepdad too, I lean more towards doing what I think is right rather than being a good teammate to my wife. So we definitely fight about that.
Yes.
Because I don't know what the right thing to do there is. I still am not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should be on my side and be my teammate.
But I'm also a step.
But
I am a parent
You are
to them.
legitimately a parent. That is very fair.
So it's hard to find that balance of, hey, I want to support my wife, but if it wasn't her, okay, well, power went out again. I'm still going. If it wasn't her in a her versus another parenting type situation, I would probably agree with the other. I agree with the other parent in that situation. Power back on. Oh boy. This is going to be a great episode. How much time do I have left at this point?
I don't know. Hold on. Give me a second.
Not a lot.
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Oh, that's not too bad, actually.
No.
That is not too bad. It's probably going to show off again.
I don't know. It happened twice when I was using hot water the other day, and then it happened a third time when someone else was using hot water. I don't know if someone's using hot water right now.
Okay. Cool. Anyways. Anything else? Anything else that becomes like a reoccurring issue, a fight?
I mean, that's the one that I know recurs the most, has recurred the most for the longest amount of time, and that we both get the most heated about.
Mm-hmm. That's true. But never like, because we both, I would say, understand that both sides are trying to do what they think is right.
Yes.
So it's not like Sarah's trying to abuse the kids and I don't want her to, or I'm trying to put Scotland in boarding school. Nothing like that.
No.
It's just, little things of...
But I think that the problem with fighting about parenting decisions is that a lot of times the issue happens right in front of the kids. And so how you choose to handle that in that moment, it's hard. What's the right, should the kids be able to see you fight? Should they be able to see about how you're going to do things with them? Or should you be presenting a unified front and do that behind closed doors? It's a sticky situation to navigate.
And that fight always ends with you getting what you wanted and you being the right one. So
don't think that's true.
Most of the time. And when I think of the major times we fought about the kids, I can't think of a time where the end result was, let's try what you're saying.
I mean, I feel like we tried what you were saying a lot of times when it came to like chores and stuff.
We never fought about let's get the kids to start doing chores. We fought about the kids aren't doing their chores right. There should be a consequence to that. Currently, do the kids do chores?
No.
You know why they don't do chores? Because you didn't think that there should be consequences to them not doing their chores right. So we just got rid of chores altogether.
Well,
All you did was present an example of what I'm saying.
We also had a hard time deciding about what was right. I would say that they had done their chores adequately, and you would say that they had not. So we had differences of perspective of what.
Yeah, but when I pointed out how
completed.
they didn't, you'd say, okay, yeah.
Because
I
in
see
my
that.
mind, I think they had completed them.
Okay.
So.
Well, the point still remains of what was the end result? They didn't have to do their chores anymore because you were having a hard time with figuring out what was good enough.
For
so they
you.
don't do them anymore.
They were good enough for me.
Okay. That's not what happened, but that's perfectly fine. Point is, usually the end result is we go to what you want on the big serious ones. And it's fine. I'm okay with it. You've been a parent longer than me, so you know what you're doing.
Okay.
What?
I don't see it that same way, but that's fine.
I mean, okay. Well, currently they don't have chores anymore. I was getting upset that they weren't doing their chores right. They never got punished for not doing their chores right. So we just made it where they don't have to do their chores, and I do their chores for them.
Okay, but I also do their chores, so it's not just you.
But still, what I wanted was there should be consequences. That's what the fight was about. I want consequences for the kids not doing their chores right.
I felt like they were doing their chores, and you said it wasn't good enough, and you decided that
the fight came
it was not worth the effort and the expenditure of trying to follow around.
Because it wasn't getting done anyway, so what's the difference?
There was
no difference.
That was my point.
There's no difference when Hannigan decides, I'm going to stack up my dishes and put them in a corner of my room under the 9 different loads of laundry that I haven't done yet. Versus, I'm going to take the dishes down. They weren't doing their chores. So, we didn't discipline them. We didn't make them do it. So, and that's not just Harper and Hannigan. Harper, Hannigan, Scotland. All of them. Still, I mean, I don't see how that's not... Did they get disciplined for them? Yes or no?
I mean, they got talked to. They got asked to redo them again.
Were there consequences,
when I went and looked, then they were asked, they were made to stop what they were doing and go back and fix whatever I had noticed was wrong.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, people who listen can decide. And it doesn't matter because now they don't do chores anymore. Not to the point of here's a list of the chores you need to done, which is how I had it. Because then we don't have to worry. Sarah and I can relax about it. So, what are some things that make our fights end quickest and last longest? Stuff that's like added to fuel to the fire. I guess the argument style.
Yes.
As you brought up, so we already got that one out there. That makes the fights last longer, is then we get mad at how the other... Well, we don't. You get mad at how I fight. I can't think of a time I've ever been like, I am mad at you because you're fighting wrong. I don't get that.
You don't get mad at me, but I think that it fans your desire to fight more logically. And
That's
to continue
nonsense.
to...
And I disagree completely. But I guess if that's what you make up in your head when you're mad at me, that's perfectly fine. Certainly don't get fuel and decide, I'm going to fight more logically than I already am.
Okay, but that is definitely what happens.
Any sense.
It may not be a conscious thought.
Well, the longer a fight goes, I do try to get more logical because I've run out of my points. So you have to then reassess how you got there, why you're fighting. So you should get more logical.
Yeah, but you have even said that you like to ask leading questions that you know will lead to only a specific answer so that you can make your point. Like you're using the semantics and the
just so everyone's
strategy.
clear, I have said this about like one specific fight in the history of our relationship, and now Sarah brings it up constantly as this is what I do every single fight. It's not. What's something that makes our fights end quick?
Usually if one of us will admit that we were wrong and just apologize.
Okay. Anything else?
I mean, that's the thing that typically ends them the fastest because neither one of us just wants to. We're not the kind to just roll over and just not discuss it for the most part. So we will continue to talk about things until either we're too sleepy, too exhausted, or somebody says that they were wrong and apologizes, or both of us admit we were wrong and apologizes, because I firmly believe the majority of most fights between anyone, anywhere in the entire world, there's a little bit of wrong on both sides.
That's true. Most wrong is on me, though.
Oh, I don't think that's true.
No, I'm going to say it now, so then every single time we fight, you can be like, yeah, but remember that time you said, oh, well, you knew where I was going with that. And it was very clever. So there's my 15 minutes. I'm sure everyone sides with me on that one.
We'll see.
No, we won't. We won't hear from people.
Maybe not. Maybe we will. Maybe
Make sure you talk quiet enough to where the podcast won't be able to pick up your audio.
Oh, they could pick up my audio. That was just my sexy radio voice.
Oh.
That's not my nasally.
What was the name of the guy who played Shaggy who had the radio?
Casey Kasem.
Casey Kasem. Yeah. I would fuck Shaggy. Sorry.
I
thought twice about saying that, but I decided it was the right thing to do.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you decided on the side of yes. I was listening to a
Start at 15 minutes, and then you can talk about Shaggy if you'd like during your 15.
Talk about Shaggy. Fine. We won't have actual conversation.
My
Don't
15
worry.
minutes was spent with no power.
That's not my fault. I didn't flip the power.
It's not my fault that you want to talk about Casey Kasem.
Okay,
no,
whatever.
wait, it is, because I asked who was the,
Okay.
the DJ.
All right.
Oh, our marriage is a sham.
So from your perspective, not just with me, but whenever you fight with someone in general, is it just the topic that makes the issue escalate into a fight? Or is there like a perfect storm of things that happen? Like maybe you're, sleepy and your blood sugar's been bad and, the kids have been irritating you all day. And then there's one little thing that I do or somebody else does that sort of in normal circumstances might not elicit that same response, but that escalates it to the level of the fight. Or does it really just depend on the topic itself and the thing that you're upset about, the issue?
I don't fight with a lot of people. I don't fight with you a lot. We don't really fight a lot. It's been, especially the last 2020, we've both been upset enough with regular things. And I don't really fight with other people. I fight with the Scotland, but that's that's not fighting.
Well, and like when your parents when you were a kid and exes, and there's got to be.
Blood sugar makes me lose my temper a lot faster when blood sugar's high or low. Alcohol, I think that makes anytime we ever fight, all of our worst fights, alcohol was involved. I think. I can't really think of a fight where it was really bad and we hadn't had anything to drink. The one you brought up is our biggest fight ever. When you told me the truth and I found out you were lying, we had been drinking all night. Most of the time we talk about the kids. It's one of us has been drinking or something. So I think that makes a big difference, especially for us. I think we get along way better when we don't drink. And when I just don't fucking like somebody, I fight with them even though they don't deserve it. Because there's got
to be so few people that you don't like, though.
There are very few people I don't like. But there are a few people that I like, but I also don't respect. Like I get along with everyone, I think is the right way of putting it. But there are people I do not respect as humans. And for those people, because I am so logical, I can also be the devil's advocate and find stuff that I dislike about my own views and my own opinions and things I usually like. I can decide that I don't like those things just to then be a dick to the person that I do want to fight with. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do, because I've seen it in action.
Yeah. So I'll argue with people about wrestling and stuff that I don't really feel that way. Or I'll argue about political things and I don't really feel that way. It's just
pushing
sometimes
their
people are
buttons.
annoying. Yeah, it's just let's be honest. It's fun to be a dick sometimes. Everybody likes doing it. Bullying is natural. No, that's not true. I take that back. I don't want to. I don't want to leave.
I didn't want to have to call you out on that.
Bullying is not natural, but everyone at some point has the desire to be mean, and it feels like a relief. And so I make sure I do it to the people who I don't respect, and it's on a topic that doesn't really matter, and I am not actually.
I would say the biggest time I've seen it is things like wrestling and stuff, where at the end of the day, it makes no difference.
It's not going to end a friendship. For the serious things, I don't fight about those things. We have nice discussions about them.
I think that's very fair. All right, let's see. What else do we have on here? What's the biggest fight you ever had with an ex?
The biggest fight I ever had with an ex. All right, we're going down on time for sexy story time.
Oh, okay.
You ready for this?
I wasn't expecting it to be sexy because it was a fight, but okay.
Well, at least I was seeing a girl. We went to a party, and it was a couple hours away. A bunch of us went over there. What do you call the host? The host of the party and her husband wanted to have sex with, or at least next to me and this girl. So we decided to all go into this bedroom and all get it on. So we all went in there, started, having sex next to each other or really, really close to each other. But we weren't touching on each other, and there was no crossing. And at first I was into it. Then I started not being into it because I wasn't really attracted to the other two people. So when you have two people that you don't find attractive right next to you having sex, it's hard to keep an erection,
I don't know.
Well, it would. It sounds like it would be, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, I'm enjoying the sex that I'm having with this girl that I've had lots of sex with. I'm enjoying that. But next to me, I'm not enjoying the sounds and the sights. So it's hard to keep a boner. And at one point she goes, well, do you want to try, you want to see if they want to switch and see if that'll help you? And I was like, no, I really don't want to do that. I don't want us to do that. And she's like, okay, that's fair. So I was like, I'm going to go. So I got up and I got dressed, and I assumed she was right behind me, but she wasn't. She stayed in there. She got plowed. So then when I found out about all that, it turned into a giant fight because I thought that we were more exclusive than apparently we were, and I thought me saying that I didn't want us to swap and her understanding that I was saying that. I guess she didn't say I agree. So after I got dressed, uncomfortable, and left, she stayed there, and they all started having sex. And then for months, she was secretly trying to stay connected to them while telling me that she wasn't. So it was like a fight that lasted for months and months and months.
My follow-up question was going to be if we ever fight about the same thing, but I'm going to go ahead and say that's a no.
No, we will never, I would hope we will never fight about that same thing. So, but that was, because then it turned out we stopped seeing each other at all. She moved in with them and was part of like an open thing, and then depending on what you believe, she was the reason that they ended up getting a divorce. So it all turned into a giant disaster. But yeah, we fought a lot about that because I didn't want her having sex with him at that time, and she wanted to.
Yeah, and I think that's
fine. It's just
it's a really hard thing because there's such authentic and open communication that's required to make something like that work. And that it's really hard to find enough people. And when you're talking about, multiple people who all have to be having those genuine, open and honest conversations, that's difficult, especially when you're younger, I think.
So after we got through the first initial fight about it, it would have been over. But then she was still talking to them and wanting to be with them. So not to say I wasn't completely at fault. I mean, I definitely was encouraging of the initial let's get in there and do stuff. So, that was my biggest fight ever.
Yeah. No, that's pretty awful. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's all right.
What is something that you're surprised that we don't fight more about?
Oh, let's see. We discussed that we fight about our fighting styles and that we fight about a couple of things about raising the kids. I'm surprised that we don't fight more. I'm surprised that we're both not more jealous.
Yeah, we're really not at all.
And this is not surprising in the sense of I think we need to be like that. It's just surprising because, like, that one girl, we fought about that all the time. It was always jealousy-related stuff. And, I mean, again, she did stuff.
And we're both pretty cute, so,
Yeah, she did stuff that was bad. I did stuff that was bad. Then the girl before that, all of our fights were based on jealousy, flirting, blah, blah, blah. And then I guess you just outgrow all that silly stuff.
Like, I hope that for most people, I know definitely for me, I'm more confident now than I was, and so there's less insecurity. And I think that for me, my jealousy stemmed from my own insecurity of not feeling good enough.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot more now, if you can't see that I'm good enough, I think I'm good enough, and that's enough for me. I don't need your validation to feel like I'm a good person.
I'm the exact same way. I need you to help me afford insulin.
Yes.
So for my health insurance, but besides that, I'm with you because I really, really want to be with you. But like, I can't imagine any other girl that I've ever been with that would have been like, hey, yeah, you can go hang out and go to the park and get a coffee with your ex-girlfriend. And, oh, yeah, you can be texting and talking to my ex-husband. That's fine. I'm cool with all that. Like, just thinking about all my other relationships, I am surprised that you and I don't fight about jealousy stuff. We have before. Don't get me wrong. There have been times we haven't gotten along, but it's been years, I would say. Years and years and years.
I think we both do a good job of letting the other person know that we care about them, both through our words and our actions. And so I don't have to question it because I don't feel like there's a lack of you communicating that to me.
And I'm surprised, but again, I don't think, like, when I think of surprise, I'm trying to think of ways that I think we need to fight about it, but we don't bring it up. But I can't think of things like that. I don't think there's any unsaid things. Like, a lot of people fight about, oh, this person worked all day and then he got home and was lazy while I had to hang out with the kids. But we're both on these schedules of, during the day, I'm trying to get chores done so that I can go to work at night, and you're working during the day and then trying to get chores done at night. And so we get it. We get what each other are going through there. So, power just went out again. So I think we can relate really well.
Yeah.
So we don't fight about it.
Yeah, I would agree. So I'm going to ask you another question so I can go try to flip the power back on again. Do you feel like we fight differently now than we used to when you think back to 8 or 9 years ago, either in our style of fighting or how we handle resolving a fight or what we fight about? I mean, there's a lot of ways that you could look at that.
Okay, you can go flip that switch.
I'm going.
Why does he keep doing that? Powerless. We are the, what do you call them? The Quakers? Are the Quakers people that live without power? Are those the Quakers?
I think so.
I think our air conditioner is trying to run. I don't know, but it's weird. It should be running all day, shouldn't it?
I don't know.
Okay. I think that we used to fight about little one-time things a lot more when we were first together, and that was annoying. Like, that just comes with time. But I will say a way that we used to be better than we are now. I think we used to, besides this example you came up with as our one biggest fight ever, which I guess that was the one exception, I think we used to be really good about not going to sleep mad at each other. I think we've left that completely, and there are plenty of times in the last year, 2 years that we will fight and then we'll just go to sleep and wake up and just don't even talk about it. Like, oh, we got it all out of our system. And usually alcohol is involved when that is the occasion. We used to be better about fight, cry, cool as staying up if it takes till 3 in the morning. Now it's shit. It's like midnight. Fuck, I'm gonna go to sleep. This fight's not that important. So I think we've gotten worse in that area.
No, I think that's fair.
So
you just want to stay up all night every time we fight?
I mean, I think it is way healthier to stay up until the fight is over. And I think you should resolve it rather than... but I don't keep you from going to sleep. It's not like this is your fault. You do always fall asleep. I'm not the one that falls asleep. But, you also wake up a lot earlier than me.
Well, and sometimes you stop talking, so...
Okay. Maybe you stopped asking questions.
That's fair, but then you stopped asking questions, too.
Okay.
I'm just going to say it's not always just me falling asleep.
Sure sounds like it.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. There was a thing I was going to ask, and then you sidetracked me with all your fancy talk.
What? Am I not supposed to be logical in the podcast? When I'm recording a podcast, you don't want logical answers? Blah, blah.
Yeah, that's what you sound like normally, right?
We fight with bananas.
Why bananas?
Because I'm not being logical.
I don't know. Bananas
squishy sofas.
Bananas, because you can throw them, but they're squishy, so they really wouldn't hurt. So you'd feel
I
better.
like snowballs.
There's no snow.
Because that's not logical. Do you not get what I'm doing here?
No.
Oh, my God.
It's because I have to keep going up to flip the power back on.
Yeah.
It's got me all discombobulated.
I'll combobulate you.
And then I had to do it 3 times last night, too.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on.
I know. It's bizarre.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe.
Do you have anything else you want to talk
do.
about?
So I was trying to see if I could think of that thing that I had lost my train of thought on, but that's a thing that I think is just gone, and I just got to let it go now. What's the biggest fight you ever had with your parents?
God, I don't know.
Or a brother. Someone in your family when you were a kid.
I mean, I can think of lots of physical, horrible fights I had with my brothers, but I don't remember why. So when we were kids, my dad was the music minister. I don't remember if he was the youth minister at the time at our church. And then randomly, the pastor told my dad that his kids were bad, and so the kids weren't welcome at the church anymore. So my dad couldn't work there anymore. And he did this in front of a lot of people. Oh, well, it's a good story.
I know. I want to hear it now. Yeah. I'm invested.
No, sorry. Damn. We'll never know.
I know. If I hadn't had to go and flip that power.
You could have asked me to do it. I would have still taken the same amount of time.
Yes.
Well, that was it. Pretty okay podcast. Power's annoying.
Yeah, the power was really annoying. We apologize. I don't know. It never used to happen, and now it's happening multiple times a day. But only at night, so go figure.
Is it the same time that it was happening last night? Interesting. What is happening at 9 o'clock?
I don't know. We need to ask those downstairs people.
No, it's not their fault because it's flipping the upstairs.
It is flipping
the
upstairs.
It's not flipping the downstairs. The downstairs isn't flipping. So we got that new thermostat. I wonder if that could be it.
I don't know.
It's weird. All right. Love you guys. Our next episode is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Wait a minute. We got a submission when we were asking about big fights that people have had, and we had someone send in a very big fight that they currently went through. I'm going to pull that up, and I will read it. We used to do this, but we stopped. But I did it again, and
well, I'm glad we had a submission. That's great.
We did.
I mean, it's not great that people are fighting. People shouldn't fight. They should all just get along, and everyone should be happy.
That is not true at all. No one should be happy. Everyone should fight.
Okay, but if I remember what this thing is, this is something I wish people didn't fight about.
What?
The
yes.
The story you're going to read. It makes me sad that people fight about this.
Well, keep talking, because
I didn't realize it was going to be so difficult to find.
Well, I thought it'd be immediately on my phone, but I remembered at the very last moment that it was. I wonder if it was deleted.
Oh. Huh. It might have been.
If it was deleted, then I should not read it, right?
I would guess not.
Or not go through what I remember from it?
No. If it was deleted, you should not.
Still looking. One comment. No, it should still be here. Okay. This is a submission from a listener, or at least someone who goes to our Facebook.
That's right.
My mother and I fought today about homosexuality. She told me she was officially divorcing her wife of 13 years because she is convinced that the Bible, the church, and God himself teach what is right, meaning she thinks that her love and desire for her wife is wrong, sinful. I explain that sexuality is fluid, that you can't control your attraction to or desire for another human, man or woman. And if God punishes homosexuality, then he isn't merciful. We fought and fought. I showed her scriptural to prove how outdated the Bible is. She just lost it. It breaks my heart that she feels she cannot be herself because the church has convinced her otherwise. Damn.
I can't even imagine having an ideology that I so firmly believed that could tell me that how I feel and love, which is like the most joyful and happy of emotions, is wrong. Like how that must feel in your head must be absolutely devastating.
When I was an assistant youth minister, and we would talk about homosexuality in the church, I would argue that either homosexuality should be looked at as, like, there's a lot of things in the Old Testament that the Bible mentions that are just outdated, silly stuff that the church and people in general are like, hey, it's not a sin for me to have long hair and eat certain kinds of food and stuff like that. That's so outdated. Because then when you get into a lot of the commandments and stuff of the New Testament, they are things that directly hurt people. They cause they make people's lives harder. They kill people. They're things that are rooted in evil, no matter if you're talking religion or not. But homosexuality wasn't. There's nothing about homosexuality that is rooted in evil and wrongdoing. So I always argued that either homosexuality is something that should be looked at as a lot of silly nonsense that we've thought of as outdated and only mattered at the time, or, and this is what they didn't like me saying, God is just wrong. Even if you believe in God, and you can believe in God and say that the Bible is real and true, but if God says homosexuality is wrong and sinful and he'll send you to hell for it, God's dumb. That's a dumb thing for God to feel.
I would agree with you on that. And I think, to me, and again, I'm no biblical scholar by any means. I've gone to church less than a year cumulative in my entire life. The Bible itself seems to be very anti, and religion in general seems to be very anti-sex for any other purpose than procreation. And so homosexuality would fit very much into that. It is about enjoying sexual pleasure without there being any anticipation or hope of that resulting in a baby. And I know there's lots of religions that don't believe in birth control. There's lots of religions that don't believe in, things that have to do with sex in any way being something enjoyable or pleasurable or anything outside of it serves a biological function and purpose. And obviously homosexuality is not going to result in a baby.
Yeah, that's some of the arguments, but there's a lot of them, and they're all stupid.
Oh, yes. I mean,
Oh, God, yes. But it's definitely horrible to hear, especially in the situation of they have been okay with being gay for 13 years, because you see all the time where someone is not willing to come out of the closet or pursue a gay lifestyle. This is very interesting, the fact that after 13 years, now she believes.
And how awful for that wife.
Yeah. Awful for the wife, awful for the person the daughter who submitted it. Really, really sad situation. I certainly don't know what I would do in that situation. But I would still love my mom and hope that since she has such a life that was not poisoned by religion, that she can go back to that. Well, love you guys.
Thanks for sharing.
What a sad way to end the episode.
Yeah, it's a bit of a downer.